Hey guys, and welcome back to Base Station DB. So today we've got a little bit of a different video for you, as I over the last weekend entered the biggest tournament to date that I have been a part of, getting away from my local scene to take part in a huge 50-man tournament at Underworld in Nottingham that was hosted by the amazing Tom. The guys down in Nottingham have been building a great competitive scene. And they do big monthly tournaments at the start of each month on a Saturday, first Saturday of each month. So yeah, I thought I'd test myself this time around against some other people other than the local faces that you see in the videos usually, guys. But I'm going to quickly run through the deck build and then we'll jump straight into the footage. So if you've been watching recently, the deck's basically the same. So we've got Nightmare on 560 Rush, Wizard Rod on 160 Hexa, and Silver Wolf on 960 Freeball. So yeah, nothing's really changed if you've been watching any of the videos recently. But yeah, we'll pretty much just jump straight into it. Although, quick footnote, I do have to apologise for the footage on one of the matches, as I was kind of in a rush to set up the tripod as they were running a little bit behind at the time, and I just sort of had to deal with it as was. So there's a little bit of footage that a bit of the stadium caught out, but you don't really miss anything. Most of the important stuff is in there, so yeah, apologies for that. But other than that, guys, I'm going to jump straight into the video now, and I will see you on the other side. Right, so going into my first match here, I go with the Nightmare to begin things off with. This is the first of 6 rounds before top cut, if I'm so lucky to make it there, but we'll find out. I'm against the Phoenix Wing in this first round, as both blades trade blows, and I look to get my first point on the board here. But yeah, it's the Phoenix that ties first, so I take the first point there, going into the second blades, and now I'll go with my Phoenix Wing against their Nightmare, I believe, as well. Yeah, so there's 2 of us running Nightmare, the pair of us there, but I get the pocket there on him to make it 3-0, so I just need a point to seal things now as I go with the Silver Wolf here. It gets sent to a relaunch there though. I think there was air contact. As we go into the relaunch here, and again another little bit of aerial contact. The referee asks us to relaunch that one there again, so that's 2 in a row now. Yeah, it was a very strictly ran tournament, this was, but yeah, both of us managed to launch fine this time around. But we head now in towards the Silver Wolf territory here, as we head towards the mid to late game here, as my opponent's bay seems like it's beginning to tire there, as I managed to take the win there. Going into the second battle now though, against Kaiser here. So I'm 1-0 so far, looking to keep the undefeated streak going in the second match. Like I did in the first round, I start off with the Nightmare here. And we're underway here, both blades trading blows. I believe that's the second time I've come up against Phoenix Wing first battle here now as well. And I managed to take the first point here, going into the second base now. Rod versus a Cobalt Dragoon here. We get the second match underway here. Just trying to avoid as much contact as possible here, really, with that Cobalt Dragoon. The more little taps it seems to get on the rod, the better chance it seems to have of beating it. But unfortunately, with my rod being on Hexa, it sort of tends to shift towards the middle, so it's right in that Cobalt Dragoon sort of area now, as both bays seem to be coming to a stop, but which one will stop first? I believe the referee here decides to relaunch it. We do have the footage. I believe we went through the footage and we still decided to relaunch here, so nobody could call that one, so we go again. Some heavy hits from the Cobalt Dragoon there though. Really don't want to be taking too many of them. This isn't the most stamina type build for Rod ever as well, being on 160 hexa, so I don't really fancy my chances against the Cobalt Dragoon matchup in this particular situation. But yeah, my opponent takes a point there after a very long drawn out second battle there, having to relaunch and everything. Yeah, going into the third blades now, and my Silver Wolf gets a big extreme there on the Tyranno beat there, and I take my second win of the tournament as we go into third round against Uncle Bobby here, one of the toughest competitors there on the day as well, as he proves there by pocketing me pretty much instantaneously to make it 2-0 to him there. And going into the second blades now, got that shark scale now against my Rod, and must say I was pretty nervous about coming up against shark scales today with how low they sit, and I've not really had much chance to actually play against them either, so today's probably my first taste of shark scale, and Uncle Bobby pockets me again to make light work of me on that one as we go in towards the fourth round now. So I'm 2-1 now. Still got a chance of making that top cut at this stage, but I could do with winning at least 2 more of my matches. And a false launch from there sees me penalised by 1 point here. I think the nerves are starting to get to me a little bit at this time, as I start to think, oh wow, maybe I can do this, but yeah, again, I'll launch myself into the pocket. So I'll give myself a 2-point deficit really before this match has even got going. Not good at all there. But we do finally launch properly on the third time of asking to get this battle underway. But have I already lost too many points now to come back here? Nightmare's heavily tilted. It looks like I'm about to give my opponent a 3-0 lead before we've even got onto the second base here. Although now it's my opponent that seems to be tilted. Referee decided to call that as a draw though, so we go again here. I almost pocketed him for a second there, but he managed to jump straight back out. And the Dragoon's heavily tilted here, but doesn't have the stamina. Not on this particular occasion. My Nightmare picks up the point there, so I at least get one of those 2 points back that I managed to lose for myself there. As we go into the second base now. Massively disappointed in myself at this stage of the match, I must admit. Each blade's trading blows. Couple of X dashes from my opponent, and he manages to pocket me, and I take my second loss of the afternoon. So we're 2-2 now, with a couple more rounds to go now, and I could do with winning both of them really. I do apologise about the footage on this one. I had to set up my tripod pretty quickly for this round, and I do end up missing out part of the stadium, but I believe we can see the majority of the important stuff here. So I'm up against another shark scale here, as my Nightmare just gets battered around the stadium, and my opponent takes a 1-0 lead there. Going into the second base now, Phoenix versus Rod. Seen a lot of Phoenix wings at this particular tournament, I must admit. And we both go underway here. Fair few X dashes from my rod, which is not ideal, not what I exactly intended out to do there. But yeah, I've definitely depleted all of my stamina there, and my opponent takes a 2-0 lead now. Going into the third blades now. And we've got a rod versus wolf match here. And I just try and go straight for the centre there. Just try and take the centre stage and conserve as much stamina as possible. Keep that rod on the outside, but will my tactic work on this one? Or will my opponent's rod have the better of me on this one? As my wolf starts to get tilted here. It's not looking very good for me here, I must admit. This matchup can usually go either way for me, depending on how I play it. But unfortunately, my opponent takes the point on this one, so I'm now at a 3-point deficit now, and I really need to lock in if I want to get anything out of this match now. And we're underway after the reshuffle. Sorry, here. Both blades trading blows. We're gonna hold out for at least a point this time round. And my rod does seem like it's going to get the point here, so I do get at least 1 point on the board. I've still got a lot to do here, still need 3 more points to seal this. Don't see me doing this with the Silver Wolf like I did in the round previous. As we know, it was built to pick up the 1 point really rather than 2 or 3, but I'll try my best here. Just checking the structural integrity of the bays before we go into this battle here. Don't want any cheap bursts being given away, especially when you're 3-1 down. But my opponent then manages to get caught there in between the rail and the rest of the stadium there. So may give me a little bit of a saving grace here and get another point back on the board. But one thing I was scared of as it slows down is it actually dropping down into the stadium and pocketing me. So even though this looks pretty good for me, I was pretty nervous of that happening. Because I've seen crazier things happen before in Beyblade. Yeah, as my opponent begins to tire where they are, I do manage to take the point in the end, so it's 3-2, all to play for now. And I'm somehow back in this match. We get underway here. Land an X dash, but don't manage to pocket. As that shark goes flying around the stadium for a few times there. It's been a bit of a hectic battle, this one, as both bays begin to tire. But the point goes my opponent's way in the end, and I am now 2-3. And unfortunately my chances of top cut are now over, I believe. But going into the final match here now to try and restore a little bit of pride after such a good start to the day. It all kind of went downhill, so can I redeem myself in this battle here? So we get this battle underway here. The Nightmare is often started for me in this tournament. I send him out first here against the Blast, and my opponent takes the 1-0 lead, unfortunately there. Going into the second blades now. And and my opponent manages to launch himself into a pocket, so manages to gift me a point there, so all is even now. So yeah, we relaunch with these bays again now. So far the wizard rod holding out, taking those attacks, absorbing them. As we head towards the stamina finish now, more than likely here. As my opponent begins to start tilting here. Looks like I'm going to take the lead here for the first time in the match now. So it's 2-1 to me going into the third blades. And we've got a fox brush against my silver wolf here. I switch over to the string launcher for the wolf here. And I managed to launch up into that top pocket for a second. Just trying to avoid those early hits from the fox to send this match towards my territory. But yeah, my opponent seems to be tiring here, as I now make it 3-1 going into the reshuffle here. I only need a point, so I choose the silver wolf, backed up with the wizard rod afterwards should I manage to lose this particular one here. But somehow my silver wolf manages to glance my opponent into the extreme zone, and I take the match 6-1 in the end. And there we have it, guys. So 3 wins, 3 losses, 24th place finish out of 50. I don't believe is too bad. So yeah, not particularly too displeased with my performance. 2 of my losses did come against people that ultimately ended in top 8 cut as well. So we can be proud of ourselves for our performances in this one's in this particular tournament anyway. But yeah, as I mentioned at the start of the video, Nottingham do run monthly tournaments on the first week of each month. I will be bringing monthly tournaments to Derby in the future on the 3rd week of each month as well, just so we don't clash with the boys in Nottingham, as we're quite close to one another. So if you are interested in that, I will be uploading a link in the videos to come in the next few weeks, as the first tournament will be in November. So stay tuned for details on that, guys, if you're interested in getting involved in one of them. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much, and bye bye.